start with breaking news out of Turkey. At least 6 missiles fired from Syria have struck the town of Kilis. The town is in the southeastern area of Turkey, very close to the Syrian border. TRT World's Francis Collings was reporting live from Kilis when the third missile struck.
We understand that something has landed just over there, but worse than that, in the streets behind, in the houses behind, another bomb has gone off, possibly a missile, as I say, yet to be confirmed, just behind that block there, which is cordoned off. As yet, we understand 2 people have gone to hospital. Certainly the ambulances were here very, very quick and then rushed away. Things have abated slightly, it's calmed down, there's less shouting and there's less police pushing people back. Okay, if you can still hear us, that's another missile that has just landed about 200 yards away from us off to the far side. We didn't hear the previous ones, we were some way away. But we certainly heard that one, and that has landed in a residential area.
Well, Francis has now changed location, but is still in Kilis and joins us live. So, Francis, just take us through sort of the last half an hour to 45 minutes in Kilis.
Well, Kamali, we had reports. We were down on the border, near the Syrian border, filming another story. We had some reports from people we know in the area that 2 bombs had gone off in town, on the edge of town. At that stage, they didn't know whether they were bombs or missiles or mortar fire or what exactly they were. Now, we got there and there was a heavy police presence pushing a lot of people away, a lot of anger from people on the ground. Something seemed to have landed in the middle of that waste grounds that you could see behind me that I was describing at the time. Then another incoming missile landed about 200-300 yards away, again landed in that field. Everybody then, of course, broke for cover. And since then, there's been at least another 2 or 3 in that area. It's the Charazam Kabir area of Kilis. It's about 5 kilometers from the Syrian border. There's quite a bit of noise going on now. We're in the hills above. We're hearing what we believe is outgoing fire. We've been getting some reports that the Turkish military is returning fire from where they think this has been coming in. So we're hearing some distant booms at the moment from where we are. I guess we're about 3 or 4 kilometers from where these bombs landed earlier on, but they were all concentrated in one very small area. It's a residential area. There was a waste ground. There was a field there. There's nothing really else around there. We understand so far 1 person has been killed, another severely injured. But at the moment, it is somewhat confusing. The other thing I can tell you is that there's been a curfew. The town loudspeakers have been shouting out that there is a curfew in the town and people have got to go and get indoors because they're not entirely sure where they're coming from precisely or indeed who is sending these missiles over the border.
Well, let's just try and delve into that somewhat, Francis. Obviously, this is a fluid situation. Just tell us who is on the other side of the border there in Syria, and tell us what you can about Kilis. Have they faced this kind of attack before?
Well, Kilis is a town that is, it's a very peaceful town. It's been a very quiet town. Of course, it's been affected, like many towns in the region, by the ongoing conflict. It's got a population of some 90,000 people. There's some 120,000 Syrian refugees in and around the town, so things have changed. Now, there was an attack last month on a school, I think on the 18th of January, that killed 1 person. But apart from that, it's been relatively quiet. There's a mixture of militias on the other side, including the Free Syrian Army. We were with an NGO this morning and talking to them about their role, and their camp is just on the other side of the Turkish border, just to the south. And they were telling us that to actually establish the camp, to get in there, they have to negotiate with various militias, primarily the Free Syrian Army, that umbrella organization that encompasses quite a few different factions. So it's a complicated scenario just over the border, but certainly, all things considered, this town has been very peaceful given its proximity to the conflict that is going on barely 5 or 6 kilometers away.
Okay, Francis, we're just looking at pictures now of a fourth missile attack or explosion in the town of Kilis. We will be back to you later in the programme for the very latest, but thank you for now, Francis.